If you have drinks, if you have snacks or something, please don't eat or drink over the table. Keep it away from the lid.
Texas Card House Dallas and TCH Social Las Colinas hosted the Thanks for Giving food drive for the second straight year. Last year, we donated over 5,650 meals to the North Texas Food Bank. This year, with the combined power of two amazing TCH locations, we donated over 4,200 pounds of food that created 3,544 meals. Texas Card House also made a donation to the North Texas Food Bank, which brought the total number of meals this year to 9,544. We want to thank every guest and team member who helped give to those in need this holiday season.
The Moneymaker Poker Tour is headed to Texas. That's right, we're going to the Texas Card House in Houston, Texas from January 10th to 22nd. We're going to have 11 championship events with over $500,000 in guarantees. Check out moneymakerpt.com for more information.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to TCH Live here at Texas Card House Dallas for tonight's final table of this $365 buy-in. The big one here every Saturday. You can play for a $365 buy-in every Saturday here at TCH Dallas. And my name is RJ Dupree. I'll be your commentator tonight. Here is a list of the payouts we're playing for tonight. The final nine, the final table. 127 entries today of this $365 buy-in event. 30K guarantee, obviously taken care of handily. We're playing for $8,900 up top. Players are guaranteed $1,135. Lovely Brittany in the box for us tonight. She'll be doing the dealing. And it looks like we had an all-in that very first hand on the one seat that we may have actually missed, but we are off and running here. Hand number two of this final table. And here we are in hand number two. We're going to have the flush draw from Sardine with the King Queen against Arun's weak ace. Arun has landed the weak ace. Ace, 8, 9, 2 diamonds. Ace 4 still in the lead here for Arun. $170,000 in this pot. Arun has $215,000 behind. So we'll see how Sardine wants to play this in position. He will check. He'll take the free river. No diamond for Sardine, and the 4 of spades actually 2 pairs. Arun. He will bet $65,000. Take down a pot right there. So a very nice pot right there for Arun from the big blind position. Almost doubling up. There's a list of the player chip counts. Got a couple of shorties down there in the 4th seat. We've got Bobby with $100,000 in the 2 seat. HD $195,000. Mike $215,000. All the way up. The larger stacks in the 6th seat for Sardine. He started with $700,000. He just took a little bit of a hit, and a bigger stack there in the 9 seat as well. Blinds here you can see in the graphics are 10,000, 20,000 with a 20,000 big blind ante. So that's 50,000 per lap of the button. Sardine min raised this in early position, and Bobby in the big blind will go all in with ace 10 of hearts. He is pretty short here, all in for 80,000. Ace, king, queen. Sardine needing a top card or a 3, and we pick up the jack of hearts, which gives Bobby the straight, and he will double up.
Pair the board. Pair the board. Yeah, pair the board. Pair the board.
So Bobby gets the short stack double up. He's now up to 190,000 in his stack. We were talking about that big stack in seat 9. That is Hobbit, 830,000. He is leading the way going into this final table.
He's like, you're right, dude. That's why I'm not there.
This is the 7th seat, Mr. Carl. He will raise it up the minimum. Min raised with ace, king of clubs. 40,000 to go now. Arun makes the call from the button with his ace 10. Pretty good hand for the button. Ace 7-7, the flop. Dangerous flop here for Arun, as Carl will take a big advantage on this flop with his ace king.
Oh my god! You're such an idiot, man. I hate you. No, I did that for you, by the way.
No, you said river.
Technically, I did say river. Dave, you know why you never win? You get it in
So
bed.
Carl let out for 50,000 into this flop, and Arun has raised it to 110,000, with only 225,000 behind.
You win more than guys that play bad.
Carl makes the ship here.
This is why Dallas Holker.
Not necessarily an all-in, but a raise enough to put Arun all in.
Come on, dog.
So Arun now knows that all his chips will be at stake if he chooses to make this call. 225,000 behind.
Oh, that's a one-outer. Hey, James, I king 5. I promise you. All in. Hey, I'm gonna for you now, bro.
I don't want to stay.
Well, walk away from the table so I can just stand there.
You have no choice. You have no choice.
Arun debating this one as he knows Carl's likely holding an ace here. It could be diamonds, as 2 diamonds at the top. Likely holding a big ace in early position. Arun's facing the raise of Carl in early position. Ace 10, such a borderline hand right there, and Arun makes a nice laydown. And a pretty juicy pot there for Carl. Pot's got a little meat on it. You can see Carl moves up into 2nd place in the chip counts with that pot. So with these blinds of 10,000 and 20,000, we can see some of these shorties moving pretty quickly as we start this final table 9-handed. We'll obviously work our way down to 1 player with $8,900 up top. As we mentioned in the opening, these players guaranteed around $1,100 so far.
Once again, you had the ace spade, gets us in trouble, remember? Gets us in trouble.
Hobbit picks up the blinds and antes, raising with king, queen.
exactly what it was.
A few more chips for him there. As you can see, Hobbit in the chip lead with his 880,000 in chips.
You're so lucky, bro. The guy's just giving you chips, man. You're not doing each other.
So basically, as the table is lined up, our chip leaders are to the right of the table.
Hey, now you don't got your
6, 7, 8, and 9.
What are you gonna do now?
He never stops talking. I love him. He's hilarious. And he's got the best one-arm.
6, 7, 8, 9 basically are our chip leaders. And here we have Mike on the button with an ace jack. He will raise it up against Hobbit. Hobbit in early position with jacks here. A very friendly flop as it is 7-5-6 rainbow. Hobbit will lead out 30,000 into this pot of 130,000, and he will take it down. Mike on his best behavior there with ace jack. Shout out to Mr. Mitch. I know some of you guys are used to hearing Mitch on Saturday nights here at the final table of the big one. He is out of town, out catting around somewhere around the East Coast. I know last report Mitch was hanging around Baltimore, Maryland, enjoying some time of his hometown. I've probably seen some friends and family back on the East Coast. So shout out to Mitch, hello, and thanks for calling me in to help out with TCH Live tonight. And we have a true battle of the blinds. As it's folded around to the small blind, he makes the call, and off to the flop we go. Small blind versus big blind. Good to see some of our regulars giving us shout-outs in the chat. Good to see Frank and Mitchell and Adrian. Rooting for Sardine. Let's go. Get 'em, Sardine, from Adrian.
Felt is a major upgrade.
It's very slippery.
Felt is a major upgrade, as we can hear our players talking. That is a customized felt. Of course, that's the Dallas skyline right here at Texas Card House, Dallas. That felt is very, very cool. And of course, when you see that felt on TCH Live, you will know that it's a Dallas game.
Is that 2-5? Oh, that's the other tournament. That's the other.
There's Mitch checking in from the chat. Looks like a great table. He's leaving Baltimore tonight. We'll be back for next Saturday. So we look forward to Mitch Lloyd coming back next Saturday, as I will be holding down the fort for you guys here tonight. Carl's going to raise up this hand from the button with the Jack-9 offsuit. The big stacks will see a flop. Queen Jack-6. Hobbit defending his big blind, calling the min raise. With a 7-4 offsuit, he has missed the flop. Carl continues on the flop and takes it down. Another shout out for Let's Go Sardine in the chat. Sardine, of course, one of our very favorite players here at TCH Dallas. He is the fine gentleman tonight in the 6th seat. Well, I am accustomed to doing the stream game on Tuesday night, which is usually a cash game with a bunch of ornery fellas up there. We did have the ladies game last week, and it's a lot of fun to listen to the folks on the live stream cash games as they like to talk a little more. So these tournament players are very focused, a little more game face oriented, not a lot of chat.
Do it if you mean it.
This hand folds around to the small blind, and Hobbit has raised the minimum. King 10 of diamonds. Gino in the 1 seat, he'll make the call. He'll see a flop. Deuce 6-9 rainbow. Both players miss. Check, check. To the turn we go. The 8 of diamonds. Hobbit picking up a flush draw and a gut shot with 2 over. He'll lead out a nice controlling bet, and it'll take it down. Picks up a few chips there. Keeps the short stack Gene in the one seat short.
Yeah.
Does not allow him to see that three or the river, pardon me.
That'd be good for the stream. Yeah. Jay always likes comments. They can probably hear him. They should probably just put the cameras over there.
So another hand that's folded around to the button of Hobbit. He raises to 40,000. And we have an all-in from Gino in the 1 seat. All in for 200,000. Only 40,000 more than what Hobbit already has bet, so he will make the call and see the bad news in that Hobbit and his button has pocket 7s up against the 8s of Gino. A 7, 3, 9 on the flop, and Hobbit has landed a set.
All day we've seen that. Find an 8, Brittany.
Queen of spades, only an 8 will change it, and no 8 as the set of 7s will crack Gino's 8s. And we have lost our first player of this final table.
You want to see a replay last Sunday? What we talking about?
So as we have the first knockout here at the final table, Gino guarantees himself $1,135. We are now moving up to 8-handed. Players are guaranteed $1,500 at this point. Still playing for that top prize of $8,975. And you can play this $30,000 guaranteed event every Saturday. Texas Card House Dallas, starting at 10 a.m. Today's contest had 127 entries. Fantastic tournament every week right here in Dallas. Bobby's under the gun with King Queen as we get back to the action. And of course, when you have 180,000 in your stack, you're about to put 40,000 into that big blind and ante. King Queen looks pretty good, but he lets it go here. Mike goes all in for 125,000 with pocket 4s. So the shorties are definitely moving around right now. These short stacks trying to build up. He will make the call in the 8 seat. He's got 330,000 behind, so he can afford to take a shot here with the suited ace-9, ace-9 of diamonds. Flop comes king, jack, 7. 1 diamond, a 10 on the turn, giving Pete a gut shot, and 2 overs. 7 of diamonds is a whiff for the draw. Pocket 4s will hold, and Mike gets the full double up. Quick little graphics of our Went Showdown hands. Not a large sample size just yet, as we are only in hand number 12 of this final table. Arun looking to limp from the small blind here, and it's going to be a battle of the blinds. Arun lands his 10 on a jack 10-4 flop. Bobby is behind him with a queen 10. Arun has gone all in. Now it's up to Bobby to see if he wants to make the call here with his queen 10. Landing middle pair. The problem here for Bobby is his stack is awful short as well, so this pressure from Arun puts a lot of heat onto Bobby's stack, flopping middle pair. So he'll decide if he wants to go with this one or not. Bobby will make the laydown, and that's a nice pot for Arun as he sneaks in there from the small blind. Takes it down when he hits the 10. Always nice to be able to take that pot down, especially when you land in a dominated position there, and the pressure will take the pot. Hobbit now over $1 million at 1.2 million in chips. Carl 800,000, Hardin 570. So here we are in hand 13 as it folds around to the small blind. Bobby will go all in. So Bobby is all in with his queen jack for 140,000. He will get called by the big blind of Mike, ace 9 of hearts. Flops 9, 9, 3. That's a pretty good flop for ace 9 of hearts. And queen jack turned dead on this one as Mike will take down the pot. And we have our second knockout here at the final table as Bobby will finish today's tournament in 8th place. Fantastic finish, fantastic run for Bobby. He will take home $1,500. And we are down to 7 players remaining in this today's big one, Texas Card House Dallas.
What's that? No, he said that he didn't get any. I said you don't want to get your face card yet. I need to see your face card. Muy bien.
Here we are, 7-handed now. Chip stacks are starting to maybe level out a little bit. Still a couple of shorties out there. That's one way to play it. Arun is all in for 225,000. Blinds 10 and 20,000 here. Hardin in the big blind.
Let's go. It's okay.
Interesting spot. Never fun. Pocket 3s in the big blind facing an all in for half your stack. Hardin will let it go. graphics there showing the percentage of pre-flop raises. Of course, the percentages of that coming from the bigger stacks. Doing a good job putting pressure on these shorter stacks. Forcing them to either fold or play for their stack. Well, folds around to the cutoff where Arun has queen of spades, 10 of diamonds. Thinks about moving and then throws it in.
Mark B. Good play.
Sardine completes the bet from the small blind with a 9-4 of diamonds, and Carl will bump it up from the big blind as Sardine has ran into king queen.
Just move it in.
Just what?
So they change color to move into cards. Shows it. And then it'll change colors with these actions. So it means
The 9-4 into the muck. Carl picks up a small blind. The bet from Sardine.
If the cards don't read, then it's red. And then it'll change colors depending on whose action it is.
Aggression frequency there. HD, Bobby, and Mike. Still yet to be able to get after it here in hand number 16 of the final table. But hey, a lot of action here from this right side of the table as they have most of the chips. Pete here, bumping it up over the call of Carl. Carl completes the small blind, and now we go to the flop. Carl tried to sneak that limp in there with queen jack of clubs. Pete raised it up from the big blind with his ace and actually lands top with his ace 9 on the 9 deuce 7 flop. Pete will lead out, take it down, and off to the next one we go. Always very nice in these tournament structures when you can win some pots from the big blind position.
You see Godzilla? Is there a new one? Really? Yeah, it's like 98% Rotten. Oh, cool. Yeah. My kids are wanting to see the new Wonka. How old are they? They are 11, 9, and 5. Take them to Godzilla. Yeah? They're all boys, too, so they like it. Hi.
Yeah.
Let's see, checking in the chat here. Mitchell, yeah, we could have used you, man. We could have used you. Gene seems to have made 3 final tables in 3 weeks. That's quite a heater for Gene. All right, we got an all-in back to the action here. Pete is all in with pocket jack. HD, the short stack will be at risk here with his pocket deuces.
I had Elijah, my oldest, in the Air Force, was 22.
Queen 6, 5. Deuces of HD versus jack. He will need a deuce to survive. 4 of diamonds on the river, and the deuces are no good to beat jack. HD will be eliminated here in
Standard, when people are waiting until they're
place.
Yeah.
My son is 33 and he's just going to get married I mean, they wait,
Yeah.
man. They just wait.
Well, it's because no one can afford them until you're in your 30s anyway.
It's like
Here's a quick look at those payouts as HD has been eliminated in 7th place, payout of 1,800.
What did you do, white people?
You can stretch out, put your feet up.
Can I do that in last year?
And of course, that fantastic promo you saw where Chris Moneymaker putting out an event in Houston coming up at Texas Card House, Houston, and that will be in February, or pardon me, January. get a quick little look at that. January 10th through the 22nd, Texas Card House Houston presents the Moneymaker Tour. We have announced that. Details will be coming soon on that. You want to scratch that in your calendars, January 10th through the 22nd. A lot of cool events coming up in Houston for the Moneymaker Tour. Here we have Hobbit putting some pressure on Arun. Small blind versus big blind. Hobbit again with a medium pair. He's two there. Arun lays it down. Have to. Player chip counts. Hobbit sitting still at 1.2 million. Pete bumps up to 660,000 after knocking out HD.
I'll have to scan before I can do anything.
Yeah, because you can't put anything in until the last one hits the.
Pete gonna make it 40,000 in the cutoff with King 9. Hoping to be able to take down these blinds, and he will find some resistance as Mike chips all in from the big blind with pocket queen.
Blinds are 15, 30, 30.
Queens will take down the pot.
What did you say about the button? Like, you need to scan on top of the button?
The little circle, it has to stay like near it because there's a chip on the bottom. So he can keep track of where it is and where the action is.
But no, but still I need to scan. Right?
So if you're just checking in with us, we have 123. It just went up. 123 viewers here for the final table at Texas Card House Dallas. This is the big one tournament. The weekly tournament where you can play for a $365 buy-in, guaranteed $30,000 prize pool. Small blind King 3 versus the big blind 9-4 here. We have a flop of Jack Deuce 9. See if Sardine wants to mess with this as his 9-4 has landed middle pair. Mike put a pretty healthy bet into this pot at 100,000. Sardine only 415,000 behind here. And he will make the call. Both players with 315,000 behind. More than 350,000 in this pot. Queen of Diamonds hits the turn, scaring both players. And the Ace of Clubs now on the river. Interesting scenario. Mike has let out on the flop, got called by Sardine. And now both players do not like this run out. It goes check, check, and Sardine's going to pick up a cheap one here with his 9-4 in the big blind. 360,000 pot going his way. Lo and behold, that battle of the blinds had some meat on that bone. 360,000. That pot will come in handy when you get down to 315,000. So we're seeing some pretty rough hands here in early position, and they are easy to fold. Arun will raise it up from the cutoff with a suited King 5 of the spades variety. Ace 8, 9, 6 goes away, and Arun takes down the blinds and antes. And 75,000 there.
That's been the action game.
I'd rather play here.
TCH Dallas hand 22. Blinds have gone up 15,000, 30,000 for the big blind, and 30,000 for the big blind. Andy?
Yeah, it's kind of true.
It's not about fun for me.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, it's just different priorities, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's okay to socialize, but
There's the business aspect of it.
Mike in the cutoff wanting to
Or rambunctious people.
put in a little aggression with this 10-7 apart. He will then click the blinds and take it down.
Especially tonight. Saturdays.
So with blinds up this high, a lot of men clicking on these blinds from the cutoff, from the button. And of course that opens the door for some big blinds to be defended. With the blinds this high, just there's such a great percentage of your stack. A min raise means quite a bit here. Carl's got some chips. He's got the button, and he has the 3 of clubs and the 4 of clubs. He will raise it up to 60,000. That is the minimum raise. We saw this last time this button was in this position. Button raised, and Hobbit defended his big blind as he does so here. Defends with the 8 of spades, 9 of diamonds. We get a flop that misses both players. Jack 6 deuce 2 hearts. Hobbit checks. Carl will continue from the button. Once again, similar to the pattern of the button in the 7th seat last time. Carl takes the pot down. Real quick, while we're setting up the hand for tonight's final table, we want to bring up the New Year's Bang tournament coming up December 28th through January 1st. That's just next week. We will have 8 flights here at Texas Card House, Dallas, and also there will be a flight location at Texas Card House, Las Colinas. So check out this promo. Get ready for that coming up December 28th, a $300,000 guarantee. You can jump in that for just $400. That's the New Year's Bang here at Texas Card House. We missed a little bit of a hand there as Carl takes down the blinds and antes from the cutoff. He raised it up with Queen Jack suited of club. There's our player chip count. Arun in the 3 seat at 240,000. Mike in the 5 seat at 390,000. So the blinds are 15,000, 30,000. So they're still pretty short. Arun just has to give Mike a walk there. Never a fun spot at this stage of the tournament. Sometimes those walks can make you a few bucks when you jump up the pay grade a little bit, so it's not that big of a deal. You want more chips, but you also want to keep those payouts in mind as well. Carl is under the gun here with a pair of pocket 7s. He will limp under the gun. Pete's going to make the limp as well with a suited ace-6. Mike completes the limp. Jack 10 of diamonds in the small blind. 2 diamonds, king, deuce 6. So Mike has landed a flush draw, while Pete has landed middle pair with the 6. Carl still a officially in the lead, but only 36% of equity here. And then we have a diamond on the turn, and Mike bets out immediately for 50,000 as he has turned a diamond flush. The diamonds on the turn did pair the board, and it gave Pete trip sixes with an ace kicker.
150.
Pete will raise it up to 150 with his trip sixes. Mike goes nowhere, and in fact makes the ship with his flush. He is all in for 325,000.
325.
So a little over half of Pete's chips here to make the call with his trip sixes and an ace kicker. Pretty gnarly turn there for this hand as the six of diamonds has caused some chaos. We see the hands tabled. Mike with a flush of Jack 10 of diamonds. Ace six of clubs for Pete. There's a list of the outs for Pete. He needs to fill up and does not with the deuce of spades. Pardon me. The deuce of spades does pair the board. And Pete does fill up. Ay, ay, ay.
That's my luck out.
A double pairing of the board. Fills up Pete and knocks out Mike, and that'll be a big pot here for Pete.
Nice hand.
That moves us to five-handed here at the big one, Texas Card House Dallas, $30,000 guarantee. We will be five-handed here. Now the players are guaranteed $28.85. So we're starting to get into some real money here. $8,900 up top. Sardine completes from the small blind. We'll see a flop. 10-5-7, 2 heart. Open-ended for Sardine, and Carl has landed bottom pair. Sardine leads out in a small controlling bet with his open-ended. The ace of clubs on the turn. Neither player really loving this card, but neither player expecting their opponent to have an ace in this blind versus blind limped pot.
9.
Sardine will bet 90,000 with his open-ended draw and take it down here. Ace on the turn. That's 90,000 to win 90,000.
Come on, buddy. Hang in there. Hang in there.
A few more suck-outs just happened. Yeah, my turn to suck out.
Gotta have some run good.
Gotta have some run good.
You know you're running good. You need to.
Now it's time for run good for sure. You run good five-handed on these big multi-table tournaments, and it can make you a few bucks. Sardine's going to raise that up from the button with King 4 offsuit. Carl squadoosh into the muck. Pete will see a flop with his Jack 3 of spades. Flop Jack 5-9. 2 diamonds, 1 spade. Pete will lead out with his top pair.
Good. Good. Good.
Shows the Jack.
Honest guy.
Good, good, good.
He's always honest.
146 viewers right now watching this final table here at Texas Card House Dallas.
Drive-by needle.
The big one here every Saturday. Thank you for joining us. Make sure you smash like for us. Watch some of those fun videos that TCH Live has been putting up here in the recent weeks. Back to the action. Arun under the gun with a suited ace-3. He is all in for $225,000. Hobbit in the big blind, checking out the scenarios. $195,000 to call here. He has a king 9. The kind of holdings that is very, very tempting here, especially when you get into that. I like for that range to be more around the 6x. If it's any more than 6x, really don't want to get too crazy there. 4x, 5x, we can take some shots. I know we were talking about TCH Live producing some videos that were out in the recent weeks. Scroll down, there's one called Shocking Crazy Hands Shocks the Table or something like that. But it is fantastic. I'm surprised that one hasn't gone mad viral because there's a couple of hands on there that are pretty wicked awesome. Under the gun here, Sardine will min click it, raises it up to 60,000. We're going to go to a flop 3 ways on this one. We'll see if we can catch some havoc. Ace, deuce, king, all spades. Pete has landed his ace 9, and he has the 9 of spades. Pete also on the button in this hand. Arun pretty much whips this board. He does have the 7 of spades, so he will check this flop. Sardine let out there a little bit, and Pete immediately raised it with his ace and his 9 of spades. Top pair, 9 of spades flush draw, and he will take it down. So Pete has now moved into the chip lead, 1.3 million in his chip stack. Hobbit also over $1 million at 1.03. Carl Sardine hanging around with about $500,000. Still plenty of chips here. These stacks are starting to level out a bit if we can get Arun going a little bit. He's kind of hanging out there at the bottom. He's grinding this final table. And Arun is also all in on this hand. Hobbit has raised from the button with pocket 5s. Arun is all in for $210,000. That is $150,000 more for Hobbit to make the call. He does, and he has pocket 5s versus the jacks of Arun. To the flop we go. Hobbit will need a 5. Arun fading a 5. Ace, king, 5 on the flop. Hobbit has landed a set against the jacks of Arun.
You gotta go find him.
And a clean run out for Hobbit as his set of 5s has knocked out Arun. Arun's jacks could not fade the 5s.
5-handed.
A great run today for Arun.
Wow.
A fan favorite in Texas Card House Dallas as well as Texas Card House Las Colinas. Congratulations to Arun, finishing 5th today in this Texas Card House, the big one. So there we go, moving right along at hand 32 of this final table. We are now 4-handed. The chip leaders have been on the right side of this table throughout the final table. And sure enough, they have caused the eliminations, and now all the chips are indeed in the 6, 7, 8, and 9.
Patty check.
It was blind versus blind again. He had like 8 big blinds. Like, what was supposed to do?
Carl picking up a big draw here on this flop as he has 3 of clubs, 4 of clubs. He has a gut shot to the wheel with a flush draw. Starting with pretty much air here, no hearts on board, no jacks or deuces, so we will go to the next one. There's a good look at the carnage that the right side of this table has caused. The chips have been in the 6, 7, 8, 9 throughout the process of this final table, and they're the only ones with chips remaining here. We are 4-handed, playing for this prize pool. Guaranteed $3,600, $8,900 up top for these, the top 4. 4-handed here. Button's a strong position. Sardine will raise it up. He hadn't raised it up yet, but now he has. He's raised it up all in with pocket 8s, and he will take down the blinds and antes. Wins $75,000. We're still at the level of $15,000, $30,000. Hand 34, tonight's final table. Sardine again picking up a nice playable hand. Ace, queen. He's going to raise it up to 60 this time. A great time to pick up some hands where you can put some pressure on your other 3 opponents. 4-handed is a fantastic time to have some quality holdings. Hobbit will call from the big blind. Defends, and Hobbit flops top and bottom with his king 4. The flop, king 7, 4. Hobbit reaches for chips and has checked. Sardine, a very small controlling bet of $50,000 on the continuation here. These small continuation pot control bets on these flops. Very important for these players to find out where they're at. Very important for these players to be able to draw on it. In this particular case, Hobbit will check raise, and Sardine mucks ace queen will go to the next one. So Hobbit picks up some chips there. The raise first in, everyone playing about the same pace there. Pete 15%, Sardine up to 21%. No one getting too crazy. Hobbit in the small blind with 7-5 offsuit. Sardine in the big blind with 8-3. We'll see a flop for the standard big blind price of $30,000. Queen, queen, jack. No help to either player.
Wait, Krishna. Yeah, see you at the podium.
All right, have a good night. All right, George. Okay, thank you. All right, you guys hear that?
Man, I've been slacking on my chat here. It's still good to see you guys chit-chatting away in there. Mitchell, Frank, some of our usuals. That's awesome. Keep it rocking in there. JT Money. Good game, JT Money. In the chats as well. Pete will raise it up here in the cutoff. We're four-handed. 30,000 on the big blind. Pete has made it 65,000 to go with Queen Jack. Hobbit folded his ace-7 there on the button. Not wanting to pick on that big stack of Pete just yet. We're four-handed here. Sardine wanting to move on his button, but picks up Queen 9 and just couldn't do it. Throws Queen 9 into the muck. Carl limps, Pete checks. We'll see it flop. Jack deuce 6. Carl lets his gut shot go. Pete takes it down with a bet. Sardine under the gun for this one. He'll muck his 10-7. Carl's Queen 7 also into the muck. What's Pete got? King 8. He'll make the call. Suited Canuters for Hobbit. 7 of diamonds. 6 of diamonds. He'll raise it up. When those small blinds are trying to limp in there like that, very easy to raise with suited connected holders like that. Those holdings become very, very valuable in a heads-up limp pot. Hand 39 of tonight's final table, the big one. These players have been playing since around 11 a.m. this morning. Under the gun, Carl has raised it up with 10-7. 65,000 to go. Pete makes the call on the button with Queen 9. Hobbit with the big ace-10 in the small blind. He lets it go. Pardon me, Hobbit has re-raised. That's more like it. Okay. I thought I saw Hobbit holding and reaching for chips there. We got a little confused on those graphics, but Hobbit did indeed 3-bet from the small blind with his ace-10, and he will take that pot down. Four-handed here tonight. Sardine, a suited 6-3, just itching to make some moves here. A big sigh as he lays his 6-3 into the muck. But he'll get another lap here as he is now the button. Four-handed here at Texas Card House Dallas on this wonderful Dallas felt. All in from the button. Sardine sees an ace-4 245,000. He's still got enough chips there that players can't just automatically call him. So he's able to chip up here right on time. 245,000 will take a bump up. I actually had the pleasure of dealing to several of these players today, earlier today, as this tournament's been going for a little while now. Pete is in the small blind, and this time he's going to raise it up. Last time trying to limp in did not go so well as Hobbit raised it up. This time he raises it up with a suited king 4, and he will find some resistance. Hobbit's been defending his big blinds, but this time he's a little more armed with the ace jack of hearts. Pete has outflopped Hobbit here. King 3, 4 on the flop. Top twosies for Pete. 7 of diamonds on the turn. That puts 3 diamonds on the board. We'll see what Pete wants to do with his 2 pair now. Turn goes check, check. A 4th diamond on the river. Both players holding hearts here. Both players on their best behavior. It goes check, check. We'll go to showdown. Pete will take down the pot with his 2 pair. Hobbit shows his ace, jack, no pair. There's a list of the player chip counts. We're 4-handed. Hobbit at 1.4 million, down to Sardine. He's at 320,000. Carl running a little short. He's at 610,000. Blinds are still 30,000, so Sardine really only player in immediate danger. As the blinds have now gone up this hand, 20,000, 40,000, so that will put Sardine below the 10x level.
Second call, David R. wants to know that. 7D wants to know that.
Man, come on, man, get this over with, man. I'm so mad.
Hobbit gives Sardine a walk with the old suited deuce 3. Doesn't want to mess with that. Of course, never fun to give the 8x big blind a walk, but it's much better than doubling them up with a 3 high.
I knew it was quiet.
I got so much money on you. That's the last bet I got left.
Pete's got an ace in the cutoff. He'll bump it up a little bit. Blinds are now 20,000, 40,000. Pete raises to 85,000. Men raised with a stinger, and Sardine has a suited ace-8. He will ship it all in for 340,000. So he's got enough here that Pete will have a decision to make. He wants to play this. 255,000 to call for Pete.
You're right, you're right.
Pete throws it in. He'll muck the ace-7. Nice lay down there. I love raising with ace-7 in the cutoff, and I hate hitting 3-bet with it. Definitely tempting in some short stack spots, but Sardine hanging on to just enough chips there that he's not really too short when it comes to jumping into those big stacks. He's still got enough to bite him quite a bit. Hobbit with pocket 8s again. He's under the gun. He'll make it 80. The men click with pocket 8s. Pete gets to try the Middle ace again. He has ace 9 of the big blind. He'll see a flop. Diamond, diamond, diamond. Deuce 3, 4.
I hope no one
That is a
wins
pretty
here.
big flop for
No,
Pete.
you, 100%.
All right.
Pete holding the ace
He's my
of
uncle.
diamonds. He has
Get it?
flopped a wheel draw with the nut flush draw.
Like your uncle, I'm only a year older than you. I'm like,
And he has check raised. Check raised to 350 over the bet of Hobbit. Well, Hobbit led out there with 90,000. So Hobbit led out with about a 60% pot bet there. And he has been check raised 350,000. Causing a scenario here. We're four-handed here, and these are the two big stacks. So a lot to think about here for Hobbit. And he has raised to 800,000. All in from Pete. So we have a check raise, a 3-bet from Hobbit. Now we have a 4-bet all in from Pete as he is holding the ace of diamonds. He's on a wheel draw and a flush draw. 5 of diamonds would make him a straight flush. Hobbit currently in the lead, but only 40% equity with his overpair of pocket eights.
185.
Pete is all in for 1.2 million, and the two big stacks are going to hook it up here. A deuce 3, 4, all diamond flops.
Flush.
Pocket eights, 1 diamond versus the ace 9 nut diamond of Pete.
Diamonds over there. I think we're flipping. Oh, I have 2 overcards.
Yeah.
So Pete is going to have a lot of outs here with this 60% equity. Any diamond, any 5, an ace, or 9. And there you see the graphics pop up. And the board, double pairs. 4 on the turn, deuce
You had me covered.
on the river, and the 8s will hold for Hobbit.
That's exactly what I was trying to get the full.
And this one is going to be a big one. Looking at a pot of about 2.58 million right there, four-handed. You can see all the action there on that flop in our graphics. The check bet 90,000, check raise from Pete for 350.
Yeah.
3-bet, 4-bet all in. Let's do it. 118. That is not 118. That is actually 1.18 million from each player.
That's what I was trying to get you to.
So Hobbit will take a huge lead here, three-handed.
Yeah. I honestly kind of put him on exactly where he was at.
He's got out of control so fast.
I know, it got so bloated.
Carl
But
with King 3 on the button, 500,000 in his
I
stack.
wanted to deny equity against 2 overs and
He's still got enough
single diamond.
to make somewhat of a run.
Oh, I should have just jammed though. I don't, my sizing didn't make sense.
Pardon me, we have a dead button here on this flop as Pete has been eliminated. A big ace of diamonds, big steel wheel draw has missed. Pete taking home a very nice
Oh,
4th place prize for his efforts today, $36.75. Congrats to Pete. Let's see, this particular hand, now we have the dead button. As the last one was a dead small blind. Pete was eliminated in the big blind. Carl's going to raise it up. Amen clicks it with Jack 9 of clubs. Sardine frustratingly holds the 4 deuce. Carl will pick up blinds and antes on that one. Now we actually have a player on the button.
Oh, that was a weird one.
That was a freaking big pot.
Yeah, I mean,
I like how y'all played it.
Well, I don't like. If I was gonna raise, I needed to just jam, and I don't. I made it 800.
Maybe.
But I mean, I feel like I should have jammed it folded. I don't think flat calling ever makes sense.
I have 2 full stacks right here.
Yeah.
All right, we are back. Just a little bit of technicalities there with the stream. Minor hiccup. It looks like we still have 3 players, so that's good.
Well, I have a lot of friends and a lot of enemies out there.
So there's our chip counts, 2.8 million for Hobbit, all the way down to 465,000 for Sardine. Carl there with 530,000. So Hobbit looks like he's a little over 60% of the chips in play. Sardine makes the move, all in for 465,000. He's still got enough to sting Hobbit. Pocket nines are going to take this one down. Hobbit just goes away. One more quick look at this payout as we are 3-handed. Mr. Hobbit, Sardine, and Carl now guaranteed a prize of at least $46.20. 127 entries today. Carl lays down King 4. Hobbit calls to the 40,000 with 10-7 offsuit. Sardine 9-5 offsuit. Blind on blind, we'll see a flop. 5, 6, 5. Sardine has landed trips. Flop goes check, check. A harmless deuce of spades on the turn. Hobbit checks. It's awful hard to check this flop twice for Sardine, and he will indeed make a small continuation type bet. 50,000 takes it down. Just no value to be had there, as Hobbit didn't have much. But can't get value from a hand if you don't try. All those people in poker history that have always said he was going to fold if I bet anyway, you never know, because you didn't bet.
Let's go Koreans!
There you go. It looks like we have some fans on the rail for Carl this evening. Sardine picks up ace jack of diamonds. Makes a pretty big raise there, and he'll take it down. Wins 80,000, blinds and antes. All right, good to see my chat back up. What are we up to? 145 viewers. Thank you to each and every one of you. Thanks for checking out TCH Live. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you're smashing like when you get to watch one of these fun videos. Sardine on the button with a suited ace-8. I've definitely raised with worse. All in.
Oh,
Raise a coming, and he just puts it all in there. 685,000. Hobbit in the big blind with Ace King, and we will see a flop. Ace King of Hobbit, he makes the call.
It ain't over yet.
Sardine
I've been
in
losing
jeopardy
this
here.
today.
7-7-3, only one diamond. Picking up some chop outs here. Needing an 8, an 8. No 8 for Sardine. Sardine will finish today's big one in third place. And Hobbit continues his hot streak, and he is rolling.
Carl? Hey, you.
It will now be heads up, Mr. Sardine.
Back when,
Congrats on that fantastic run. He will finish today with a prize of 46.20.
Yeah.
Probably don't remember. You beat me up pretty good.
Finishing third place out of 127 entries. That's a pretty good run, if I must say so myself.
and button will lock first.
So we're heads up now. Button is the small blind. Button will go first. Hobbit picks up pocket sevens. Brittany, the fantastic dealer, will handle that.
Cedric P. Country button limit.
Pocket sevens bumps it up from the button and takes it down. So here we are with a very large chip advantage for Hobbit. Carl definitely going to be up against it here, as he has 310,000 in play against the approximately 2.8 million of Hobbit. I may be off there. 3.5. So he's over 3 million. As Carl will be hanging on here with 300,000. So big chip advantage here for Hobbit. There's an exact look at the player chip counts. 3.5 for Hobbit, 310,000 for Carl. You can see from that above picture, it puts out a pretty cool little picture there, as all the chips are in the 9 seed, as they have been most of the evening. Hobbit has done a fantastic job putting pressure on some of these shorties. Carl has gone all in with 9-6, and he will get called by Hobbit.
If they were suited, I might do it, you know?
For sure.
Pardon me, Hobbit went all in there. Aha, I'm caught up now. Hobbit went all in, and Carl folded the 9-6. All right, we're back on track. Occasionally we fall off the rails. All right, Button will go first. That's Carl. He has an ace 8. All in with the ace 8. Hobbit, ace 7, makes the call. Ace 8 versus ace 7. Carl will be at risk, wanting to fade a 7. King, Jack 10, all diamonds, no player holding a diamond. Queen will obviously be a chop here. Five of diamonds, that is also a chop as it pairs the board. 5-5 King, Jack, ace.
What's that?
Anything. Unless you don't want as much.
Good try, good try.
Yeah, pretty high probability of chopping there when ace 7 hooks it up with ace 8, and that's exactly what we get.
I'm not gonna look.
What's that?
I'm not gonna look.
Hobbit, another ace.
Yeah, I mean,
Ace 3 on the button. He's all in. Carl does indeed make the call this time. Carl has a suited King 8.
okay.
He'll be at risk for 210,000.
That's a pretty blind hand.
Now he's live on this one, 42% equity. Jack 9-7, 2 diamonds for Carl. He's going to have a lot of outs here. King or 8 or diamond. Jack of spades on the turn, 5 of clubs on the river, and that will wrap it up as Hobbit. The ace 3 will hold against Carl's flush draw, King 8. And Hobbit will be today's champion of this, the big one, here at Texas Card House, Dallas. Congratulations to both these players. Mr. Carl leaving today with a prize of $6,400. Mr. Hobbit, $89.75. The best of 127 entries today of this, the big one here at Texas Card House, Dallas.
Second has like completely given it to the first stack. You know what I mean?
Don't forget the New Year's Bang coming up this week, December 28th. Multi-flight tournament, $400 can get you into this big $300,000 guaranteed tournament. Flights will be at Texas Card House Las Colinas and Texas Card House Dallas. Get that on your calendar in between Christmas and New Year's. Start New Year's with the New Year's Bang.
Do you want your picture for the
One more promo to think about. We've announced that the Moneymaker Tour will be coming to Houston. Details coming up. More on that very, very soon. January 10th through the 22nd, the Moneymaker Tour.
Do you want me to send it to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Oh, you got it? You got a gringo slash European win?
I'm white.
566.
That'll do it for today from Texas Card House Dallas. Be sure and join us next week for the Big Bang tournament. And congrats to these players today, Mr. Hobbit, the big winner. I'm RJ Dupree. This is TCH Live. We'll see you next time.
I got 2 audits.
Since we got out of here, kind of
Thank you. Crazy at the final table. Stuck out after stuck out.
Hey, is our deal still standing?